Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. I'm a solo wargamer starting to make videos about my decades-long foray into the hobby. Hopefully we get some kind of community engagement, but if not, I suppose I'm content to just shout into the void on here too, if that's what it comes down to. So a few things. First of all, thank you for tuning in. This is the first video on the channel, and I know it's not going to be a flashy or a fully polished one, but hopefully it gets the job done. Second, as to the purpose of this channel, broadly speaking, it's a miniature wargaming channel on which I plan to show off some of my collections, discuss some rule sets that I try out or attempt to develop myself, and possibly give some battle reports as well. As for which period I tend to focus on, well, that's honestly still up in the air. I'm going to start with Napoleonics and 1/72nd scale plastics, but I've also got a good number of fantasy armies in 15mm metal that I'd like everyone to see. I've got some 10mm American Civil War brigades, and of course I've played my fair share of 40K. And that's not counting the other armies that I've built up over the years that are mostly lost to time, such as medieval Crusaders and Saracens, ancient Greeks and Persians, and even some Star Wars minis. So maybe I'll have to reincarnate those at some point. But with all that out of the way, here's the topic of today's video, my small Napoleonic Bavarian force in 1/72nd scale plastic. Alright, so here's an overview of the army. Hopefully the photography is not too bad. These figures are based on square bases. This is very heavily derived from the basing system that I've seen used by General Tim from the Napoleonic Wargaming channel, so huge shout out to him. Major inspiration for me to start this channel. All the figures in this force are, again, 1/72nd plastics made by Hat. So that's who made all of these. All of them are formally designated as Bavarians, except for the general, who we will come to in a bit. The scale I'm going with here is very roughly one figure equals 25 men for infantry, or 50 men for cavalry. With the artillery, it's a bit, you're fudging it a bit more, but maybe 4 or 5 guns per gun model for artillery. And again, that's very rough and approximate because unit sizes did vary a lot in the period. But for consistency on the tabletop, those are the assumptions that are being made. So starting over here with the battery, we've got 2 bases of Bavarian foot artillery. These did not come with extra horses or any limbers or anything like that, so that's something that I suppose I'll have to get around to adding in the future. So here is the Bavarian general. This is a brigadier general, as I've designated him. If he was a higher rank, he'd have another figure on the base with him, per the basing system that I've been using. This figure is actually designated as Austrian because Hat doesn't make any mounted Bavarian officers right now. So this is from the Hat Austrian Infantry Command, which also includes four mounted officers. Then attached to the brigade as well is this regiment of Chevaliers. So there are 8 of them, again, standard size cavalry unit for the basing system that I've been using. And hopefully the camera work is no worse than my French. Then over here we've got 1 regiment of Bavarian line infantry, split into 2 battalions of standard size. I realize that the Bavarian battalions were sometimes rather large, but I've done these just as standard size battalions. This is a mix of 2 different sets by Hat, some of them including the plumes on the helmets indicating grenadiers, and some without. Then the 3rd Line Battalion is of a different regiment, hence the pink facings, an essential inclusion in any Bavarian force, naturally. And then finally there is 1 battalion of Bavarian light infantry. As I understand, they did not carry flags, so I did not include one here. And finally, we've got a couple of casualty bases here, both for cavalry and infantry, each including a space for a D6 to, of course, record the number of hits taken by the unit. So altogether, there's our Bavarian detachment consisting of 3 battalions of line infantry, 1 of light infantry, a battery of artillery, a regiment of chevalier, and a brigadier general, all ready to serve the emperor. So thank you again for watching. Hopefully there will be a lot more videos like this. I do have much larger armies in similar figures for France and for Austria, and I'm looking into starting a British one as well. So hopefully you guys will see that in the near future. So thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.